Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. I know this is a delayed update, so I will be doing my 2 and 3 week update in this video. If you can't tell just by my voice, I've been very sick. I had some kind of viral something. Felt like I had the flu, but it wasn't the flu. But yes, if you would like to hear my 2 and 3 week update status post gastric bypass, just keep watching. Alright guys, I come in here several times last week to try and film this video, but my voice just wasn't having it, and every time I would sit down in this chair to film, I would just start coughing and coughing. It hit me last Monday, so like 9 days ago, and I was gonna film my 2 week update that day, and I got up and got ready and done a few things around the house, and I'd laid down for a nap because I was still relying on naps daily at that time. And whenever I woke up that evening from my nap, I was just hurting everywhere. Not like on my incisions or anything like that, but just like my body was achy and my throat was so sore. And I was like, oh goodness, I'm getting sick. So I went to the drugstore and got some medicine to go ahead and start, because whenever I get sick, I have asthma, a slight touch of asthma. It's not really bad, but whenever I get sick is whenever it really comes out. So whenever I do get sick, like my cough is bad, and I cough very hard. And if you can imagine, after having 6 stab wounds in your abdomen and having to cough, it was pretty painful. So this is my stats from last week, my 2 week. Just basic, I'm 38 years old, I'm 5'9". My heaviest weight was 297. My surgery weight was 274. Last Monday, my weight was 263. So that was, last week I had a total weight loss of 34 pounds, 11 pounds since surgery, and I had lost 3 pounds that week. And the things that I noticed last week were an increase in energy since I had started taking my multivitamins. I'm doing the OptiSource. That's a chewable vitamin that my bariatric surgeon and the whole team approved. You have to take 4 chewable tablets a day, so you do 2 in the morning and 2 at night. And once I started taking those, maybe the second day in, even though I was still having to take naps, I could still tell an increase in my energy and even my stamina, like doing stuff around the house. Like I could do a load of laundry, fold a load of laundry, and like wash a few dishes, as to where like days before I could wash a few dishes and then have to go and sit back down because I would just be like completely wiped out. Which last week my stamina still wasn't up to what, you know, I used to be, but it was getting better. And I was still heavily relying on naps. And it, you know, that was to be expected. And at that point, I wasn't hard on myself because I was warned of that through one of my nurse practitioners at the practice that I go to. You know, he told me, he said, don't be hard on yourself if you sleep in late, if you have to take a nap halfway during the day and you go to bed early. He said, just give your body time to heal. He said, just don't even think about it. And I had wrote down on my notes from last week that I still hadn't found my restriction. I'll get into that more later. Still not hungry, no appetite. Last week I wasn't hitting my water goal or my protein goal. And I had moved up to stage 4, which was, they consider soft days at my surgeon's office. So last week until I got sick, I had a pretty good week. Like I said, I lost 3 pounds that week, so I consider that a success. I mean, I don't expect to lose 10 pounds every week and all this stuff, but this week's been kind of different. So yeah, that was week 2. So we're gonna move on to week 3. So my week 3 stats are, I mean, age and height hasn't changed. My heaviest weight was still obviously 297. Surgery weight was 274. This week I've gained 1.3 pounds. I was sick with a cold. I call it the flu virus because, you know, you feel like death, you hurt all over, you can't do anything, and you feel like you have the flu, but you don't test positive for the flu. So that's what I said that I had. And the strange thing about it is, like, I hardly ever get sick, but like I can get the same cold as one of my friends and they're sick for like 3 days. I've been sick since last Monday and today's Wednesday. And I mean, if you can tell by my voice, I'm still struggling a little bit, you know, I'm still having the cough. So it's still pretty painful, but I don't know. So if y'all have any suggestions on how to help my immune system, comment down below or email me. And I work in healthcare, you know, I work in a level 1 trauma center, and I come in contact with so many germs, you know, figure out how my immune system kind of built up, but I don't know, it's like I don't catch colds often, but whenever I do, like, they take me out. So like the weight gain last week, that's, you know, a lot of people, the videos that I've watched, everyone's commented and said, you know, the 3-week stall and that kind of stuff. So I kind of expected it, and, you know, and I was sick. So I had started walking and stuff. Obviously did not have the energy or anything to do any kind of walking, even if it was just down the hill. I mean, I could barely make it to the front yard to walk my dog and then back into the house without, you know, hurting and being completely exhausted and then going through a round of coughing. So I tried several different medications, and I'll insert a picture right now of everything that I tried and have taken over the last like 8 days. So if you saw the picture, you saw the CVS brand of NyQuil. So I sent my doctor's office a question in the My Chart feature that we have at my institution. Before gastric bypass, whenever I would get sick, my go-to medication was the Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets. I would put like a teaspoon of water in a cup and put both of the tablets, let them dissolve and fizz and everything, and just take it like a shot and then chase it with a bunch of water. And I felt that, you know, those were the most effective medication then. So, and I know they have them, you know, some of them have the NSAIDs, which I can't have anymore, and some of them do have the Tylenol. So just to make sure, you know, I sent them a question and I asked them about the effervescent tablets, and they were like, no, you can't have those because of the fizz and all that stuff. So, which I kind of figured I knew the answer, but, you know, I was gonna question it anyway. So they said as long as it doesn't have NSAIDs in it, you can take it. And which that's what I was looking for whenever I went on the hunt for all of the medicines that I tried. And I went to pre-op classes and I went to my post-op class. They gave us what they considered the weight loss Bible. And everywhere in there it said, don't take medications with NSAIDs. And it says in there, I mean, you know, I know I can't drink alcohol until I'm 18 months out, but I never thought to look on NyQuil or cough syrup to see if it has alcohol. I was just looking for Tylenol. But we're not supposed to take NyQuil. Well, I took NyQuil for like 36 hours straight. That Tuesday, because I first went Monday night whenever I first woke up and I was sick. I went to Walmart and got the Alka-Seltzer like liquid gels because that's what they recommended, and it just wasn't cutting it. It was not cutting it. I was up Monday night coughing, couldn't sleep, running a fever. Even though that does have Tylenol in it, I was still running a fever. A low-grade fever, but I was running a fever. So Monday morning, like 5 o'clock in the morning, I was hurting so bad from where I had been coughing. I went to Walmart and I went to CVS. We have a 24-hour CVS. I went to CVS and got the NyQuil. And come home, took the NyQuil, knocked me out, slept for a good 6 hours, and then I got up and obviously I tried to, you know, keep my fluids in, but I wasn't successful with that. And I tried to eat, so I had mostly yogurt for 2 days. And then whenever it was time for me to take another dose, I took another dose, went back to sleep, slept for another like 6 hours, and I woke up after that and I just felt like my heart was racing. And this was hours after I had taken the medication. So I have a Apple Watch, and I was laying there in bed, so I put my Apple Watch back on and I hit the heart rate thing, and my heart rate laying in bed and had been asleep for hours, it was like 98. So I was starting to get a little concerned, and I sent a message into the My Chart thing to my doctor, and she was like, well, it's probably from the NyQuil cough syrup because of the sugar. I was like, well, as long as, you know, I'm not putting myself in harm's way, you know, I can deal with it. So they knew that I had taken NyQuil cough syrup, and she didn't say then to stop. I don't know. You know, we all have our moments and we all make mistakes. I made a mistake of buying the NyQuil. And then after looking at it, it clearly says on the bottle contains 10% alcohol. But, you know, this is my 3rd week of life with this anatomy. So for the past 38 years, I've not had to look at alcohol content on stuff. So I made a major mistake. I mean, I could have really hurt myself. Sorry, I had to go let my dog in. So like I mentioned before, I had a real bad cough and I was using my inhaler and I tried all those medications, and it's that cough that it's like the scratchiness in your throat that I don't care what kind of cough medication I take, it does not stop it. And 3 weeks ago, before I got this new anatomy, one of the things that helped me the most was Werther's Originals. And I was told by someone that it was because of the high sugar content in them that it would coat like your esophagus and your vocal cords to keep the irritation down, to keep that scratchiness and itching. Well, Wednesday night, in a moment of desperation, because I was coughing so bad and so hard, I thought I had given myself a hernia. Because my left incision, so I have 6 incisions, 1 right here at the top of my abdomen and 4 like going across this way. So my number 2 left right here is where my doctor said that they do the majority of their work through that incision. And I don't know if it was the way that they cut through the muscle or the type of muscle that they went through. They do a special kind of stitch whenever they're done to make sure that you don't develop a hernia, because that's the one incision that they had high occurrences of hernias with. So that stitch, I swear, it goes back around my spinal cord and back up to the front, because every time that I would cough, like it would just pull and it would hurt so bad. So I would take either a pillow or I sleep with a stuffed animal, or I would take my sock monkey and put it over my abdomen and like push in before, you know, like try and hold the cough back until I could get a lot of pressure on my abdomen. And that didn't even help that night. I got up out of bed and I was hurting so bad, like my whole body was quivering, and like my forehead was sweating. I mean, I wasn't even hot, but I was sweating. And I just laid down on the couch and like I extended my left leg all the way out, like to try and stretch out my abdomen. And I was feeling around, you know, to see if I could feel any protrusions or anything weird, hard, lumpy, other than my fat rolls. And there was just this strange sensation, like below that left incision. It was like a burning sensation, but like it felt, the top of my skin felt numb, but wherever I would touch it, like the burning sensation would increase. So I was freaking out a little bit, and like I said, I work at the hospital where I had my surgery done. So I was texting people that I knew were at work that night, asking what doctors were working in the ER. And if any of you work in the healthcare field, you understand why I'm asking. And whenever they told me who the doctors were, I was like, I'll lay here and die before I go in. So I did break down and take a Percocet that I was prescribed, you know, after my surgery. I hadn't had one since the Saturday I come home. The Saturday after I had come home. But, I mean, yes, I was on NyQuil and I took a Percocet, but like I said, I was desperate. Oh, and back to the Werther's Original. After I had taken the Percocet, I was looking, because I looked in my cabinet and got the Percocet, and I just happened to see the little bag of Werther's Originals that I would keep next to all my other cough medicine. My Alka-Seltzer that had all the NSAIDs and stuff that I can't take anymore. And I put one in my mouth. And I sucked on it. And it immediately made my throat feel better, like it always did. You know, like I said, 3 weeks before it would have done the same thing. I was scared, you know, because I was like, oh God. I was like, I'm gonna be sick. Well, I mean, at least I won't be coughing. I can handle the dumping or whatever I'm gonna feel as long as I'm not coughing and pulling this incision because it hurts so bad. So the first one, you know, it took me 30 minutes to suck on it to, you know, get it to go away. And I was okay. Like 5-10 minutes later, coughing, hurting. Put another one in my mouth. So this is two were the original. Sucking on it, my throat started feeling better. Wasn't coughing. I was like, okay. Werther's Original number 3. Laying there, sucking on it. Well, I have a bad habit of whenever I'm like sucking on hard candy, like I'll suck on it for a few minutes, but then once it gets to like halfway, like I'll just crunch it up and eat it. Yeah. That's when the dumping syndrome or whatever it was happened. The only way that I can describe it is some explosive diarrhea. Awful. So I threw the Werther's Originals away. Not gonna attempt that anymore. But I went for my 3-week checkup today, and where I was coughing so hard and so bad, that left incision is aggravated and inflamed. So they wrote me out of work for 2 more weeks. So I'll be out of, I had already planned on taking 6 weeks off, but they had only approved like 4 weeks off for like short-term disability or whatever. But I had saved up all my time off PTO to where I could take 6 weeks off, just because I had, you know, heard of people taking them a while to get their stamina back and everything. And I mean, working in a level 1 trauma center emergency room, I can't be slacking. I mean, I've got to have my energy because I work 12.5-hour shifts every weekend. So I've got to be on point. So they extended my leave to where my 6 weeks will be completely covered during short term. So that's good. I wasn't planning on it, but I'm very thankful for that. So I'm still not hitting my water, still not hitting my protein. I'm doing better with my water, but I'm not getting 64 ounces at all. And so what I was using to get my protein in is yogurt and protein shakes. And I think I'm lactose intolerant now because I have farts that could kill a goat. Really bad, like man farts. Like if I knew how to like fart the alphabet, I could probably do that. It's pretty bad. I know that's not what y'all come to this video to hear, but this is the realization of what could happen after you've had gastric bypass. Because I've done low carb diet before, and I noticed whenever I did low carb, like keto, I didn't have any stomach issues. No gas, no constipation, nothing. But yeah. And well, I'm just gonna say it. I don't smell like roses anymore when I poo. It's like peel paint off the wall. Need like a whole gallon of air freshener. About as bad as my farts. So, and I think I'm gonna have to start taking that Lactaid, the lactose intolerant medication, because that's about the only way that I can get my protein in now. So I can get my protein in and fart like a man. So yeah, I mean, I've got to start taking something, because chicken doesn't go down well. Chicken thighs do, but white chicken, white breast chicken, baked, broiled, fried, stir fried, I had a come to Jesus moment the other day in my kitchen. I was just praying, just please take me out. Because, I mean, I took a small bite and I chewed it and chewed it and chewed it. And I even chewed it, I know this probably sounds gross, and I like swallowed half the bite and chewed it a little bit more and then swallowed the other, what was remaining in my mouth. And I guess whenever those two bites hit right here, that's where they stayed for 20 minutes. And I guess that's the clumping that other people have talked about. Because, like, I got this weird feeling, like, up my back, like it hit the back of my head. And, like, I felt like I wanted to throw up, but, like, the motion wouldn't happen. So I was standing over my sink, and my mouth just started, like, watering. And so I would, swallow, and that would just intensify the pain. So I just leaned over the sink, like, kind of tried to stretch out my body, and I just started, like, profusely drooling. For 20 minutes I did that. And then, like, somewhat of a vomiting motion happened, but nothing come up. And then the counselor at my doctor's office told us that if, you eat something and it doesn't go down, to take a sip or two of hot water. So I turned on the water and got it hot, and I took 2 sips of hot water, and that seemed to help. So I'm really afraid of chicken right now. So I've been sticking to tuna and still doing the protein shakes and the yogurt and eating a lot of gas eggs. Because that's going to be horrible if this is a forever thing. I'm going to be single forever, because don't no man want a woman that can out-fart him. I guess I'll buy stock in gas eggs. I don't know. But that was my week 2 and week 3 update. For those of you who have followed me from the beginning, I do apologize for these videos being together. But like I said, I did sit down several times last week to try and film the 2-week update, but it just wasn't happening. And for several days, I didn't even have a voice. So, but yes, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe before you leave and follow me through my journey. And if you just found my channel and you're either in the same like phase of this process as I am, comment down below and give me all your advice. Or if you've been through this and you're months or years out, any advice I will take, because like I said, I've had this anatomy for 3 weeks and it's been a rough 3 weeks. So, well, the first week was good. I did good the first week, but the past 2 weeks have been, you know, pretty rough. So yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna go for a walk now, trying to get those steps in. Thanks for watching.